Welcome to Math 602. This is Math 602 for the summer 2025 semester. This is an asynchronous online class, meaning there's no scheduled meeting times either on Zoom or in person or anything like that. What's going to happen is I will be posting videos for this class as we go along, similar to what you would get if you were attending classes in person, except I'm just going to be uploading videos. In addition to that, well, let me just go over the syllabus. A lot of this stuff is pretty standard. I haven't figured out an office hour time yet. I will have that set this week. I'll let you read over the course description and stuff like that. I just want to point out some of the things in the syllabus. Applied differential equations. This is the official course textbook. However, I am typing detailed notes, and that is, will be something close to a textbook. And I imagine that is going to be completely sufficient for this class. At the end of week N, I will have everything posted for week N+1. So I'm about halfway through, I think, maybe even a little bit more than that, writing the notes for week 2. That is for next week, and that's what's been uploaded. And then, of course, all of the notes for week 1. So meaning you'll have the weekend to be able to read the stuff for the upcoming week. Okay. There are 4 assignment categories. The first 2 exams are 20% of the grade. You can see the exam dates below, or the exam dates in the course schedule below. Home exam 3 is the final exam. That's going to be cumulative, but 20% will be new material and only 10%, 20% out of this 30%. So 2/3 of the final exam will be on new material, and 1/3 will be on the old material that you can see here. There are homework assignments. There's one due every week, beginning with the one due on Friday. I think that turns out to be 11 assignments. I will drop the lowest one. And there is a discussion that I will mention in just a little bit that is 15% of the grade. Exams are proctored via Zoom. I will give 2 times for the exam. I will have to set some of that stuff up later, just kind of to get an idea of what is going to be best, but there'll be sort of an afternoon time and then an evening time. So let's say one of the exams is definitely going to be, or not definitely, one of the exam times will be from 12 to 1:25, I think it is, and there will be an evening option that Friday as well. So I don't know, in Central Time, let's say 6 to 7:30 or whatever the same time, 6 to 7:25, something like that. I haven't decided that exactly yet. I mentioned the lowest here. I will provide, for homework, I will talk about homework a little bit later. I will provide a LaTeX template on Overleaf. If you use this and type your homework, you will get 2 bonus points, and each homework is 10 points, meaning you can get a maximum of 12 points if you type your homework on LaTeX. There will be weekly discussions on Canvas, and I will talk about that discussion in just a moment. Late work is not accepted. Typical student Rule 7 stuff here. Okay, week. Here's the outline. This is the week. The date listed here is always the Monday of that week, so May 26th. So the first week, what we're going to do is going to be the introduction of Fourier transform, solutions of ODEs via Fourier transform. We're probably not going to do that part so much. And then next week, it's going to be derivation of the diffusion and heat equation on the real line. We're going to look at the solution via the Fourier transform, the fundamental solution, and also start looking at the Laplace equation. So I basically have all of those notes for next week. I just haven't done the Laplace equation, and then this is the schedule here. One other thing. Exams, there is an oral component to the exam that will be discussed closer to exam time. This is going to involve either a one-on-one Zoom meeting, or it's going to involve you recording yourself and uploading it to me. I haven't figured out which one I'm going to do yet. There's some details that I need to work out, but I will let you know about that soon. But essentially what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to talk me through a problem, whether it's interactive or whether it's you're going to upload something, and I will watch it. But again, I don't want you to think so much about that right now. We will talk about that in a few weeks. I will give the details for that in a few weeks. Okay. So let's look at homework. So if you go to if you go to modules, everything basically is going to be available in the modules. So these are resources. This is the book here. If you click here, This is the book in HTML format. Now, HTML isn't great for printing, so here's a printable version in PDF format. They're the same exact thing. You can see they look very the same. It's the same LaTeX file that I use for each one of them. It's just one is a PDF and is a little more amenable to printing than the HTML file. Here's an introduction to LaTeX. If you don't know what LaTeX is what math people and other people as well use to write mathematics. It's sort of like HTML for math in a certain sense. It's like a coding language in a certain sense. And you'll see an example of that in just a moment. So homework 1, this is, you come and you click on this. You have two options. You can either download the PDF here. This is the PDF of the homework. You can just print it out and type on it, or download it if you have a tablet and you can write your answers here. The other option is to go to Overleaf. So go to this file right here. So if you click this link, it's going to open Overleaf. Now, Overleaf is something in which you can edit LaTeX. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to copy and paste all of this code here. You're going to have an Overleaf account with, you get to have like the upgraded account since you're a Texas A&M student. At least that's how it was last semester or last year. And basically what you can do is you can start typing in your solutions in this box here. Okay, now, I just want to point out something. If you type something here, like, so the Fourier transform, so you do dollars. Again, I'm not going to teach you how to do LaTeX. You can look through the file here to kind of get how LaTeX goes. So hat f of omega. Again, you can look through the file here to see how to do LaTeX, and you can click on that link that I gave you for like introduction to LaTeX. If you don't want to do LaTeX, that's fine. You can just write everything. So if you have something like this equals, okay, now if you, there's two ways to get the LaTeX to put out over here. You can either click this button, recompile, or just save. So if I do Control S, which you can't see, it does that. Notice nothing is written there. So all you have to do, come up here. In LaTeX, the percent is the comma. So you're going to get rid of this and recompile, and you have that right there. Okay, that is not what I meant to do. I meant to do. Okay, again, if you're getting a little panicked about the LaTeX here, that's fine. If you're in this class, you can figure out how to do LaTeX. I'm not going to talk about it. If it's something that you want to do, that's fine. If it's something you don't want to do, you can just type. I would suggest typing in LaTeX for a number of reasons. I just think it looks better. I think it's a good skill to have, and I think this is a reasonable way to teach it. Okay. That's how I learned LaTeX, for example. Anyways. So if you go to modules here, the discussion. So the discussion, there's going to be a discussion. Sorry, the homework is due every Friday. There's going to be a discussion that's due every Monday. So this discussion is due June 2nd. So what this says, I'll just read it out here. Week 1 discussion. Typically these discussions will ask you to think a little bit beyond some of the stuff we've done in class, or to preview stuff for the following week. To get full credit, you must answer the question below with a top-level comment. So that is, just like reply here. And you also must comment to one of your classmates' comments. Each one of those is 5 points. And feel free to use outside resources, including stuff like ChatGPT. That's completely fine with me. I think oftentimes you will need to use outside resources. So this discussion, most discussions will just have one question that I ask. This has two main parts. The first question is to introduce yourself. What do you want to be called? Outside of class, what do you do? Where are you from? Tell us something interesting about yourself. I'll also respond to this as well. The second question is this math question right here. Essentially what I want you to do is to find an integration by parts formula in 2 dimensions. So if you haven't seen that, and I'm guessing most of you haven't, that's something that you're going to have to look up. And notice you're also going to have to use divergence theorem, okay? Which I'm guessing a lot of you might not have seen recently. So you're going to have to look up divergence theorem in 2 dimensions, which might not even be something that you've ever seen, because for a number of reasons, like in Calc 3 classes, divergence theorem is typically used for 3 dimensions, and Green's theorem, which is a little bit different than divergence theorem, is what is used in 2 dimensions, but there is a divergence theorem in 2 dimensions. It's just not something that gets talked about very much in 2 dimensions. In Calc 3. Okay, But again, I think this is so that's going to ask you a lot. You're also going to have to there's just a lot of thought that's going to have to go into this. Okay, so I'm letting you know you're going to have to think a little bit about this. Now, this okay. I also wanted to mention, I didn't mention this. Sorry, this is getting a little more scattered than I usually like to be. Homework 1 here, this is for completion only. So it asks some legitimate math questions, right? You can see that from what I had over here. But this is only for completion. Basically, I just want to make sure that we have the correct number of homework assignments. I want to make sure that we can upload things correctly and all of that stuff goes smoothly. So like I said, this is just going to be for completion. It's due Friday, like 2 days or 4 days from now, 3 days from now, whatever. It's due 3 days from now, but it's just for completion. Do it. There's math problems in there I want you to think about that you're going to have to do for the test and stuff like that. So spend time doing it, but also it's just for completion. Okay, I think that's what I want. All I want to say. I think I'm going to add something to this discussion, which is going to be: feel free to ask any questions about the course that maybe this video hasn't answered, and I will try to answer those questions in the discussions. So I hope, I look forward to interacting with you guys in the discussions and going through this partial differential equation stuff with you.